There are moments in life when something inside you knows, before your mind can explain it, that destiny is shifting. You can feel like a quiet pulse beneath the noise of your thoughts, a gentle certainty that what's ahead isn't random. If you're hearing this right now, it's not by accident. You were guided here for a reason. Something greater than coincidence is unfolding in your favor. The season of almost, of praying and waiting, of wondering if love was meant for everyone but you, is drawing to a close. You've carried a longing that ran deeper than desire. It was a signal from heaven that something divine was being prepared for you. The kind of love you were designed for isn't rushed, it's refined. It's not a flash of emotion, it's a meeting of purpose. You were never meant to settle for connections that left you emptier than before. You were meant to experience a union that mirrors the peace of God Himself, a love that steadies your heart, sharpens your purpose, and restores the parts of you the world made you hide. What's coming into your life is not a coincidence. It's an answer. You didn't miss your chance. You were being prepared for something sacred. Every delay, every heartbreak, every lonely night was not punishment. It was positioning. The next chapter of your life won't just be about finding love. It will be about becoming love, whole, healed, and chosen for a divine connection that was written for you long before you ever prayed for it. The seasons of isolation weren't punishments. They were sacred transitions. The silence you endured wasn't emptiness. It was training. Every unanswered call, every fading connection, every night you sat wondering if you were forgotten, those were the moments heaven was rewriting your story in private. Divine timing hides what it values most. And in that hiddenness, you were being refined, not rejected. What looked like absence was actually protection. Every person who walked away cleared the space for what was meant to walk in. That season taught you to love without losing yourself. When hands failed to hold you, Spirit taught you how to hold your own heart. When voices went silent, you learned to listen beyond sound, to sense presence in stillness. You began to understand that companionship begins in connection with the divine before it ever manifests in another human. What you called loneliness was actually initiation, the sacred process of learning to stand whole before being joined. Every disappointment carried a seed. Every tear watered a future harvest. You were learning to discern between attraction and alignment, between comfort and covenant. What was once heartbreak became revelation. That true partnership isn't built on emotional intensity, but on spiritual resonance. You started to recognize that not everyone who reaches for you is meant to walk with you. And in that discernment, your heart began to mature into something eternal, something ready. If this message hit your soul, don't just scroll. Hit subscribe and stay with the light. You have been in a holy preparation. The separation was never about loss. It was about design. Heaven was pruning distractions, silencing counterfeits, and carving space for something sacred to enter. The ones who couldn't handle your depth were never meant to stay, because the person being sent to you will not shrink under your calling. They will rise with it. The love you are stepping into will not compete with your purpose. It will complement it. Like the architect who lays a foundation before building the structure, heaven was fortify your inner world before introducing another soul to it. That's why the solitude lasted as long as it did. It was construction, not delay. You were learning patience, endurance, and the courage to wait for what mirrors your soul rather than flatters your ego. You were being taught how to be loved properly by first learning how to love yourself truthfully. This new connection will not require you to shrink, chase, or explain. It will flow naturally because both of you will be aligned with the same higher intention. You'll know them not by fireworks, but by peace. Their presence will feel like exhale after years of holding your breath. What's coming is not another lesson. It's the reward for having learned them. The loneliness you once cursed will become the soil for which divine companionship finally blooms. And when it arrives, you'll realize none of it was wasted. Every quiet moment was heaven preparing you for the kind of love that can only grow in those who have been refined by waiting. There are hearts that have been through the fire so that when love finally arrives, they can recognize it, not as fantasy, but as fulfillment. Every quiet season you endured, every unanswered moment, was molding your spirit for a connection that carries purpose, not pretense. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was calibration. Heaven was tuning your heart to a frequency that could only be matched by someone equally refined. The love that's coming isn't ordinary. It carries destiny in its breath. It will not rush, confuse, or take. It will anchor, uplift, and multiply what's divine within you. The solitude that once felt unbearable was sacred construction. In that stillness, you learn to trust timing more than emotion. You stopped forcing doors that wouldn't open and began to understand that what's meant for you won't require manipulation. Every moment of waiting rewired your patience, teaching you to flow with divine orchestration instead of human urgency. While you thought nothing was happening, heaven was preparing both hearts, yours and theirs, on parallel paths of growth. They, too, are being shaped in their own hidden chapter, being purified by experience, so that when convergence happens, it feels like completion, not collision. Never despise your isolation. It was the soil where discernment grew. Every tear, every ache, every silence was a seed that heaven used to grow your spiritual intelligence. You've met faces that smiled but carried deception, words that sounded sincere, but it's selfishness. Those lessons were not cruelty. They were training. Each disappointment taught you to see beneath surface attraction into the truth of intention. You were learning what peace feels like when it's real, and what chaos feels like when it's disguised as affection. If you believe in this mission, drop a $20 donation to keep this truth alive and free. The counterfeits that once wounded you were never meant to stay. They were divine placeholders that revealed your worth by violating it. You had to encounter imitation so you could honor authenticity when it arrived. Every false promise, every shallow connection, every love that looked divine but drained your soul, each was a mirror reflecting what you would no longer allow. Those experiences sculpted you into someone who no longer settles for attention, but waits for alignment. The one destined for you will not confuse you with games or charm you with illusions. They will bring order, not noise. Their energy will stabilize yours instead of consuming it. You will feel peace, not performance. They won't shrink in the presence of your calling. They will grow with it. This love will not demand that you dim your light, but will stand beside you as it shines. Their loyalty will be consistent, their presence nourishing, and their love rooted in purpose rather than impulse. Every disconnection you endured was a divine redirection. Heaven was removing what could not sustain your expansion. If those old ties had remained, they would have tethered your spirit to limitation. But God's hand has been trimming away what was temporary to make space for what is eternal. Imagine if you had settled for the ones who arrived before you were ready. They would have broken what was still becoming. That's why protection sometimes looked like rejection. You were being shielded from hands unfit to hold your destiny. Now your heart carries wisdom instead of wounds. You no longer chase what flatters a moment. You wait for what fulfills a mission. The lessons you've gathered have sharpened your discernment to the point where imitation cannot deceive you again. You can feel the difference between chemistry and covenant, between excitement and divine ease. The connection approaching you will not test your sanity. It will confirm your prayers. So celebrate what left. Every exit cleared the path for alignment. Every closed door was heaven preparing the stage for authenticity to enter. You're not stepping into another temporary season. You're entering fulfillment. The love being prepared for you will not come to teach. It will come to join. It will not drain. It will overflow. What's arriving is not random affection. It is a manifestation of every tear, every prayer, every surrender that proved you were willing to wait for something real. The waiting is over. What's next is not a replacement. It's restoration. If this spoke to your spirit, subscribe and stand with those who see beyond the illusion. There are certain unions written long before time began, partnerships that carry purpose, not coincidence. What's approaching your life is not a random encounter, but a divinely woven connection designed to complement your destiny. This person will not come to test your faith, but to strengthen it. They will walk beside you with grace, not pride, with peace, not pressure. Their presence won't spark anxiety or confusion. It will bring a stillness that confirms alignment. When they appear, something deep within you will recognize them before your mind can reason why. This won't be mere attraction. It will be confirmation that heaven has answered the prayer you once whispered through tears. This connection will be the reflection of your inner growth. They will not dim your light. They'll protect it. They won't push against your boundaries. They'll honor them like sacred ground. They won't draw you away from your spiritual path, but will walk it with you, step for step, faith for faith. Their love will not demand that you perform. It will invite you to rest. They'll meet your authenticity with reverence, not resistance. They'll see the beauty in your unpolished places and treat your honesty like treasure. You'll recognize them not by perfection, but by peace. They will carry the same spiritual language your soul has been speaking in silence for years. What makes this divine connection extraordinary is its mutuality. As you prayed for someone who would see you, cherish you, and build with you, they too were somewhere praying for a soul like yours. Their path has mirrored yours in unseen ways, marked by refining, waiting, and preparation. When your lives intersect, you'll both sense the symmetry. It won't be forced or theatrical. It will simply fit. No convincing, no uncertainty, no guessing games. Just a quiet certainty that what was promised has arrived. You won't have to chase peace. Peace will find you through them. This love will not exist to distract you from your calling. It will amplify it. They will recognize your purpose and stand beside it, not in competition, but in cooperation. While others in your past felt intimidated by your growth, this one will find strength in your strength. They will not shrink when your light expands. They'll shine brighter because of it. Your success will not create distance, but deepen connection. The partnership will operate in rhythm, each step harmonized in purpose. Where previous relationships tried to mute your essence, this one will give it melody. Where others saw your drive as threat, this one will see it as divine evidence. They will remind you of who you are when doubt whispers and call forth your greatness when exhaustion sets in. They'll be the kind of partner who doesn't just speak encouragement, but embodies it. When life feels heavy, they'll help carry the weight. When it feels uncertain, they'll steady the ground beneath you. Together, you won't just share affection. You'll build something eternal. This partnership will not merely exist. It will create. It will breathe purpose into everything it touches. Your unity will multiply influence, open new doors, and set others free by example. When you pray together, the atmosphere will shift. When you work together, your impact will ripple far beyond what either you could have achieved alone. This love is a convergence of two divine blueprints meeting in time to fulfill what heaven has already designed. Your $20 gift helps keep the truth shining where darkness tried to hide it. And this is why the opposition before now was so fierce. Every heartbreak, every false connection, every betrayal was a counterfeit attempt to block what's about to arrive. The adversary tried to tether you to people who weren't equipped to hold your purpose because he feared what would happen when you met the one who was. But all those false starts only sharpened your discernment. You learn the difference between emotional thrill and spiritual alignment. You discover that not all attention is love, and not all affection is covenant. The upcoming connection will prove that waiting was never a waste. It was strategy. You will finally understand why the timing had to unfold exactly as it did. The delays preserved your destiny. The loneliness prepared your heart. The losses protected your purpose. And when this divine partnership manifests, you'll realize it was never about finding love. It was about becoming ready to receive it. This isn't the beginning of another chapter. It's the unveiling of the story heaven has been writing about you both all along. There are connections that carry the fragrance of heaven, relationships that feel less like discovery and more like remembrance. What's being prepared for you now is not a love-born convenience, but one molded through divine intention. This is the person who will stand beside you through both light and shadow, not out of obligation, but out of shared purpose. They will not just love you quietly when the world isn't watching. They'll honor you openly with the kind of reverence that mirrors divine partnership. They will see your potential not as something to manage, but as something to nurture. When the winds rise, they won't disappear. They'll pray with you until calm returns. With them, your path will no longer feel heavy. Together, you'll move from endurance to elevation. This is not competition. It's completion. The relationship approaching your life won't echo your past. It will redefine it. You've known what it's like to hold everything together with trembling hands, to keep peace where peace wasn't mutual, to pray for love that only gave you fragments of safety. Those were seasons that taught you what real stability feels like by showing you what it isn't. This time, the connection won't feel like a battlefield. It will feel like coming home. The peace you begged for will finally stop being temporary. It will become your atmosphere. The reason it will be different is because this union will have a foundation not built by emotion, but by spirit. It will be structured in prayer, patience, and divine rhythm. This love won't be ornamental or surface deep. It will be sacred. It won't exist to fill emptiness, but to expand purpose. When the divine is the architect, no chaos can undo what's been constructed. The same force that wrote your name into eternity is now writing your covenant into alignment. There will be no manipulation, no deception, no imbalance, just harmony wrapped in reverence. It will be a relationship that grows your faith even as it guards your heart. You'll know it's divine because it will require no convincing, no struggle to keep it together. Its peace will be proof of its origin, and as it takes form, protection will surround it in ways that defy logic. You won't need to fight battles that heaven has already won on your behalf. The storms that once destroyed you will now bow in front of you. Attempt to divide you will dissolve before they reach you. Every force that tries to harm this connection will end up strengthening it, because this love is under divine jurisdiction. The same presence that shielded you in your wilderness will now guard this covenant with precision. It won't be fragile, it will be fortified. It won't waver under pressure. It will deepen under it. You'll no longer live in a state of vigilance, afraid that love means pain. You'll no longer question whether your worth needs proving. Your partner will see you through divine eyes and love you with spiritual maturity. They'll protect your peace as fiercely as they protect your heart. You won't walk alone through battles anymore. You'll fight together, covered by grace. Where there was once exhaustion, there will now be renewal. Where there was confusion, there will now be clarity. The energy of this union will carry divine order. When the Creator is the center, chaos has no claim. Every word spoken between you will plant life. Every prayer shared will shift atmospheres. Every moment together will echo purpose. It won't just be romance, it will be revelation. And through this partnership, you'll come to understand that true love was never about finding perfection. It was about finding peace rooted in divine alignment. This connection won't exist for display. It will exist for destiny. You'll not only love together, but build together. Not only pray for blessings, but become them. This is a kind of relationship that multiplies goodness in every direction. One that uplifts not only you two, but everyone who witnesses it. When others encounter your bond, they'll see proof that sacred love still exists. They'll feel the presence of divine orchestration, not performance. What's coming is not just emotional fulfillment. It's spiritual partnership. It will serve as a living testimony that heaven still writes love stories, that alignment still trumps attraction, and that when divine timing meets prepared hearts, even love becomes ministry. This is your confirmation. The love forming for you will not fade with seasons. It will stand as a reflection of divine craftsmanship, protected, purposeful, and permanent. There are unions so divinely timed that they don't just fulfill two hearts. They ignite faith across generations. What's being prepared for you will not simply bring you joy. It will awaken hope in those who believed love had expired. Your story will serve as living evidence that divine timing was never delay. It was strategy. The happiness that will unfold in your life won't stop with you. It will radiate outward, touching the discouraged, the forgotten, and the brokenhearted. Every tear you once shed in silence will become the very testimony that revives someone else's belief that sacred love still exists. When people witness how deeply your partner honors your presence, how they pray beside you rather than compete with you, how they protect your peace instead of disturbing it, they'll feel their faith reawaken. They'll whisper to themselves, "If this kind of love found them, it can find me too." What you carry together will shift atmospheres, not just with affection, but with spiritual authority. Your story will remind the weary that patience was never a mistake, and that waiting with faith always produces divine reward. This relationship will not only bless your home, it will heal families, inspire communities, and rewrite lineages. Your connection won't be confined to romance. It will be a mission disguised as love. The two of you will build something that outlives you. Through your union, others will learn what covenant looks like when heaven is the architect. You will mentor without preaching, influence without forcing, and lead simply by existing in truth. Like sacred echoes through time, the impact of your union will ripple beyond what you see, reaching people you'll never meet, healing wounds you'll never touch, and restoring hope in hearts that forgot how to believe. The very people who doubted you, who laughed at your solitude, who mistook your isolation for insignificance, will soon witness what faith built in private. Yet your victory won't produce arrogance. It will birth compassion. You won't gloat, you'll guide. You won't boast, you'll bless. They'll see humility shining through your abundance and gratitude woven into your every gesture. Your joy will become their hope. The authenticity of your love will dissolve skepticism and plant faith where bitterness once lived. This blessing won't just change your chapter. It will rewrite your family's entire story. Patterns of separation, heartbreak, and confusion will break in your lineage. Your home will become a place where peace dwells naturally. Your children will grow up understanding love as partnership, not performance. Friends will draw closer to divine truth simply by being near your presence. Strangers will feel inspired to trust timing again after witnessing your testimony. What once felt like loss will turn into legacy. Do not underestimate what's being entrusted to you. This union is more than emotional fulfillment. It's a visible sermon. It's heaven speaking through human connection, declaring that divine order still governs love. The beauty of this story will not lie in perfection, but in purpose. Through you, God will remind the world that real love still breathes, that sacred partnerships still rise, and that when something is written by the Creator's hand, no force can erase it. As this chapter unfolds, approach it with humility and faith. Don't let fear or pride sabotage what you've been prepared to carry. You've cried, prayed, and endured for this. It's here not because you earned it through perfection, but because grace remembered you. Release the comparisons, the old disappointments, the lingering skepticism. What's arriving bears no resemblance to what you lost. This isn't restoration of the old. It's revelation of the new. Walk gently into this promise. Prayer must remain your compass, for what prayer builds, prayer sustains. Each time you lift your partner before heaven, you fortify your foundation with divine strength. And when challenges arise, as they always do, you won't stand alone. You'll have someone who kneels beside you in warfare, someone whose faith joins yours until heaven responds. Together, you'll form an alliance that shakes the unseen, a bond that terrifies darkness because it radiates light. This love is not mere companionship. It's divine collaboration, not fleeting emotion, but eternal alignment. It is where heaven and earth meet through two surrender hearts. And when you walk in it fully, you'll realize something extraordinary. You weren't just waiting for love. You were being refined for destiny. Some arrivals in your life aren't meant to test your endurance anymore. They're meant to restore your peace. What's approaching is not a person who will drain you, distract you, or pull you off course, but one who will strengthen your stride. This connection will not compete with your purpose. It will walk beside it. The days of falling asleep with a heavy heart, replaying broken promises, and wondering if love was meant for you are ending. Those long nights of asking heaven for a sign were not in vain. Every unanswered prayer, every tear shed in private, every silent moment of surrender was noticed. You are now standing at the threshold of the answer you once thought would never come. This blessing is not random. It's the harvest of your endurance. You waited when impatience tempted you to settle. You kept faith when others called it foolish. You believed in divine timing even when it hurt. And now, what's arriving is not compensation. It's confirmation that faith always builds what time cannot destroy. The person entering your life will not come to complete what's missing in you, but to mirror what's already been healed. Their presence will feel like alignment, not attachment, like purpose, not performance. Together, you'll move in rhythm with grace, walking in a peace that feels both new and ancient at the same time. But as the season opens, guard it wisely. Blessings that come through faith must be handled with maturity. Don't let the echoes of past heartbreak contaminate what's been divinely restored. Don't let fear build walls where faith intends connection. Don't let the comfort of this season make you forget the humility that birthed it. Pride will always try to take credit for what only grace could create. But stay grounded. This gift was never earned. It was entrusted. Walk gently through this chapter. Keep your hands open, not clenched. Protect the peace that's being handed to you by nurturing it with gratitude and prayer. Let forgiveness cleanse any residue from what once hurt you, and let gratitude remind you that nothing was wasted. not even the waiting. Every scar became instruction. Every delay became design. And now, what stands before you is living proof that patience was never punishment. It was preparation. You've reached the point where faith turns tangible. Don't rush it. Don't question it. Simply receive it with reverence. Because this isn't just love showing up, it's divine timing unfolding exactly as it was always meant to.